All right, chapter 5, week 3. We are moving forward. All right, so we are going to be talking about creating clarity and coherence. Hopefully, you enjoyed this chapter. And this is just a couple things that we're going to add and a quick exercise that we'll do. And hopefully, this will greatly enhance how you communicate in email and maybe verbally, but mostly this is writing today. Okay, so take a look at this. If you haven't, type this into Google. The Onion nation shutters a large block of uninterrupted text. Just type that in. Read the article. You'll laugh. Basically, this just goes back to the point that everybody's busy, right? Everybody doesn't, everybody has something they want to get done, and they don't want a giant paragraph staring at them. They would rather something shorter and more concise, and we'll go through how you can do that in an effective and eye-pleasing way. Okay? All right, composing effective paragraphs, and this is something that you really need to pay attention to from here on out, because you'll be graded on this. Not only for this class, but you'll also be judged on how you write for your emails. So let's just go through a couple quick exercise. There's this article called How to Improve Your Business Writing. It's in Harvard Business Review, and here's the link right here. So go ahead and type in that link to your browser, and once you have that article pulled up, I want you to do this, okay? Write down the first paragraph. Type it, right? Use your fingers, type the keys, write it down, okay? And then I want you to write down the topic sentences of the paragraphs. So the topic sentence is what the paragraph is all about. And once you've done that, don't worry about the case study at the end. If you want to read the case study, great. I think it's important, but for this exercise, you don't have to do that part. Okay, so write down the first paragraph, type it all in, and then write down the topic sentences of the paragraphs. Okay, so click pause, of course. Now, I want you to read those topics after you've read the article, typed those sentences up. I want you to go back and read just your typed topic sentences. So do you get an idea of what the article is about? Do you have the basic points just from those topic sentences? If you want to read more about it, obviously, you could go back and say, oh, I wanted to learn more about, using effective prose or grammar or whatever it is, or why they won't hire, or how do I improve my writing in this specific way. You could go to that paragraph based on that topic sentence. Okay, so let's talk about emails. Just, we'll talk about statistically. How many emails do you think you send per year? As if let's just say you're a full-time employee, you work in an office, how many emails do you think you'll send per year? 8 to 5, or who knows what, because all it's remote stuff, maybe even more, right? How many do you send a year? Answer is around 12,000 emails. Okay, so how many do you think you'll get per day? And you might guess 267 because I baited you, but that's not true. Okay, we're talking not junk. We're talking about emails or Slack messages or text messages that have to do with work, right? In your office, 8 to 5 every day. Answer's usually around 100, about 100 emails per day. And you can do the math. And how many things do you have to sort through every single day? Okay. All right. So this is an email you can this is a typical email that you'd receive. You can hit pause and read it. Okay, this is an email I got from a guy named Jim. He was a product engineer. So he would build products basically, and then we would help him get them legalized in different countries or markets, or help him, make sure that what's in it works. And he's a super intelligent guy, multinational project manager, head of engineering team, product engineering, and none of that has helped him learn how to write effective paragraphs. And now, does this paragraph work? Sure. But take a look at my response to him. Okay. All right. So I had about the same. This is about the same amount of information. Made him clear and concise. Made the paragraph smaller, and gave him specific. We provided this in this way. This is what's going on. Uh, Quick, concise, and easy on the eye, easy to read. Okay. And the next one is actually a legal memo. If any of you have received a legal memo, you get those, in your rental contracts and those types of things. So the next email is about a client asked me, he said, hey, what are the legal requirements for importation of cosmetics? And so usually what happens when you send that to an attorney or an attorney group is they send you a long memo with all sorts of crazy things in there and links and whatever. Or sorry, they don't provide links, they actually type out what's in there. And this was my legal memo to the client. Okay. Oh, sorry, this was on, the French requirements for Canada. Okay. Versus a legal memo with links, etc. And usually what I would do is that here's the information. If you want more information, here's 4 links that will take you to what you need. Because a lot of times they don't care about, all that, this is why and this is how and what and where. They care about, okay, what do I need to do now for the question that I've asked? So that's kind of how we would build this. Okay. I have lots of these types of examples where we would get emails from attorneys and I would basically translate them into something like this for the clients because they were so long and arduous and nobody was going to read them. My job as a project manager for a multinational company was to make sure that the people that needed the information understood it and understood it quickly. So I've done this quite a bit in my life. Okay, so here's just you'll have an assignment later to do mock interviews, requests for mock interviews. And I think for the spring term we might just get rid of this one. But we have the mock interview module. What I used to require is that students would interview 5 professionals. And this was an email that was sent for, requesting an interview. Okay, so I wanted you to just try this and see how you would compose this differently. Okay, so hopefully you fixed all the grammar and made it look, separated the paragraphs, did a couple little things there, also more personable, and we'll get into influence and how that works a little bit later. But obviously something like this, sending to a professional, won't get you as much attention. That's a well-formatted memo. Okay? So what you're going to do, it's actually a very short lecture today. The second part of the lecture is I'm going to show you a memo that I was asked to draft for my job application at BYU. BYU sent me a memo, and you'll see it in the second video. And I was asked to reformat it within 20 minutes. Okay? And so that's basically all we are doing today. And you'll watch that second video. I wanted to put in a quick reminder for your business article. Hopefully you are actively working on that because it will come due much quicker than you think. Okay, so we'll go to the second video on the memo edit right now.